Hi there, everyone. My name is Roberta, and this is another episode on Heartfelt with Bobby. Today, I hear some noise in the background. Will it affect us?
I don't know what it is, though. It's probably those people, the mechanics grinding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love a blue-collar man.
A blue collar man.
Yeah. You know, they work hard and they work outside and they're sweaty and they get dirty.
Is that a blue collar man? White collar? Oh yeah, that's a blue collar.
Yeah, blue collar is for,
Why are you talking about a collar then? There should be no collar.
I think that's just what it's
Those
called.
people have got aprons.
Okay,
Oily aprons.
Oh,
There
yeah.
is no collar. Or maybe the aprons have collars.
Yeah. So, karibuni sana to this new episode. Today, I want us to talk about... Oh, I was opening this for you. I don't know if I can multitask.
That, who
Let me
gave you
finish the
Malela?
intro.
Malela is the one who gave you. Okay, you finish the intro.
Okay, so... People always say I get so easily distracted, and it's true. I do get so easy. But do you see, Jagero ndo uchangia mi kukua distracted? You're always saying other things when I'm saying other things. Okay, Jagero. I've managed to open this for you. Oh, yeah, it does smell nice.
It smells good.
Yeah.
It's a lip balm.
It's a chapstick.
What's that? What's a chapstick?
Chapstick ni lip balm, basically.
It's a...
Just for the lips to keep you feeling moisturized. Malela got me these, and I'm really excited.
Malela is your new boyfriend.
Malela is maybe akiomoka. And if he gets him.
Well, Malela has got... Where does he get money to... Where does he get money to fly around? Huyu kijana ameomoka. He's always flying.
I know, he's always going up and about. But kuomoka, I mean if the money is in your account, it has nothing to do with me. But if he's giving it to me, then I can start caring
You are
about
riling
it.
a lot of people by saying that you like money.
Why though, don't they? Someone in the comments was telling me I have scarcity mindset. And I'm wondering, I have scarcity mindset by wanting more money.
Yeah, but what do they mean? What do they mean by scarcity
I think
mindset?
they're trying to mean that I want other people's money. So that means I'm begging or I'm asking for money. But do they not think I have my own money?
Yeah, but they just are wondering why you need more if you already have your own money.
Because if you have enough food, do you never want more food?
See, utosheke. I think what they are saying is that you should be utosheke.
I think the message that I'm trying to pass across is that I cannot be with someone who does not have their own money. It's not necessarily for me, but for themselves. I do not want to be with
You've
someone
changed
who
the
doesn't.
tune.
I've not changed the tune. Of course, I do want the money, but them having money is like bare minimum. Because even me, I'm sure the guys who date me, maybe they think I would never be with her if she looked a certain way, or if maybe some of them think kama Bobby angekuwa na pesa singaimwongelesha. Maybe some people have ever broken up with me because I didn't have money. That's valid.
And that's okay.
Yeah, because it's choice. It ends up being like what you want for yourself and what you think. Jagero, the ladies on the internet are going crazy over you. Have you been seeing in the comments?
No.
Why? You don't read comments?
I do read comments. But what can I do with that information, though? I feel like, what do I have to say about that?
They're saying you're really handsome and they would love a chance to be around you. Maybe just to meet you. Maybe you can take this opportunity to tell them about the event.
The event is coming up on the 16th, by the way, at iHub. We are putting money together for a digital, library that I'm putting up in the village. I'm going there during the Easter holidays to look at what we can do there. So that one is important, and we would really love if they can give money towards that. In as far as them meeting me, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say I have one wife that I'm very dedicated to, and I have one child that I'm very dedicated to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, you said you're not going to say?
I mean, I've just said it.
Oh.
But also, Nilots are polygamous people.
Are you polygamous?
Well,
Careful.
It's logistically very difficult to be a polygamous man.
Yeah.
But I think polygamy is every man fantasizes of polygamy. If a man does not fantasize over polygamy, then probably that's the way they are.
But you guys are always complaining about us. So why do you want more? Why would you want more than one of us?
I think that men are not complaining about women. Men are complaining about a type of women.
Why can't they leave them alone?
That they don't like.
Why can't they leave them alone?
No, it's impossible to actually leave women alone. I think it is impossible also to leave men alone.
Yeah.
Because they are very complementary of each other. And they ultimately make us happy. Women are good. My friend Richard Oduku always say that women have got very fiery side. Yeah. But women are generally good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Women are good. They make the world revolve. Is it go round?
Yeah. I want to talk about women, actually. But not just women. I want us to talk today about shooting your shot. Do you know what shooting your shot means?
Shooting your shot is a phenomenon that I've seen with Amakove Wala. She's always writing on Friday on a social media account that women, please shoot your shot and say the kind of man that you want, whether tall, whether short, whether having money or whatever. So I think that I imagine that is... when I hear shooting your shot, I think of Amakove Wala because she's the one who is asking women from all over the world to shoot their shot and to say the kind of men they want. And then those men will circle back into their inboxes and then they can start talking and maybe doing things that men do with women.
I want to talk about dating.
Yeah.
Dating all across, like... Do I say generations? But from like, of course, you're a bit older than me. Just a bit. Okay, is it a bit or a lot? I don't know. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Oh, not so much. Just a decade.
A silver fox.
Are you going to let your beard grow out white?
Yeah, I'm going to let it grow white.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, I'm going to. But it's very difficult to take care of the beard.
Why? How?
Very difficult. Because when you wake up, they're entangled. They're what and what. I just bought mafuta, like a whole lot of mafuta at a brand that I really love in the United States. And then I was supposed to give it to a friend of mine. It arrived a day after he had left.
So, akakosa.
So he came without them.
Oh, man.
And that's it.
So now you wouldn't get them?
No, I wouldn't be able to get them. Because he's coming back probably in December.
Oh, yeah.
And those things, mafuta, I don't think they can stay until December.
I think they can. Is it like natural, organic?
I don't know. They are beard oil and hair food and things like that.
No, I think they can. Yeah. See, because even if you have it, Kwani, how long do you use it for? Months, right?
No. It usually takes about 3-4 months and they're done.
Okay. So I want to talk about dating. And the reason I brought this topic up is because I need to know, was it different when you were growing up? Like, what was the scene like? How was it? Mulikuwa mnakatiana aje? Kwa sababu saizi I think kukatiana
Why do I have a feeling that you brought me here to talk as if we were the way we used to date in 1970s? I mean, like, how long ago is it?
1970s, 40 years ago, Jagero.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, when you're saying that you guys were dating differently, I mean, how long ago are you talking about?
Okay, the difference
I don't think it's... I mean, really...
No. Joke ya millennials hawapendi kuitwa we mzee.
It's true, but you know there are ways of calling somebody a mzee. And I feel like that's what you're doing because I'm not really... That gap is not that huge.
That's not
like, you want to say that the way you guys date now is different from how we dated? Like, it's not... It's a lie, man. It's a lie.
That's not what I'm doing, Jagero.
It's. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why? You're feeding the stereotype that millennials... Are you a millennial?
Yes, I'm a millennial.
That millennials do not like... millennials do not like seeming old or being called old. But that's not my tone at all. That's not like where I'm headed.
I don't think anybody wants to be called old.
Yeah.
In fact, women are the ones that are very crazy about it. They don't want you to say a statement that
insinuates they are aging.
They're old.
Okay, why though? I feel like it's a blessing to even
It is a blessing when
change
you are
and-
lonely and you're by yourself. You say, look at all the years. Because for me,
Yeah.
when I look at me growing up from the village, going to school without shoes, and then finally going to high school on a bike, and then taking the very difficult step of coming to Nairobi and starting my education. And then basically, so like, for example, when somebody is calling me old, it's like, fuck, I've lived more than you have. And you know,
Yeah.
if we both die today, then I've seen more than you have seen.
Yeah, it's
So I think, but then there is a fear of being old. In fact, I think that one of the things that I fear the most is being old and not able to take care of myself. Like I'm gonna be soiling myself, and you know I only have one daughter, and probably she's gonna be married in America or in Bolivia. She's just going to fly away, like sometimes women fly away, and then I'll just be alone. And I'll not be able to go up the stairs. That's why I did not build a house in the village that has got stairs up the stairs, by the way. So I think there is a very big fear of getting old and then dying. And then where are you going after you've died?
okay. I think that's a valid fear. I
Yeah.
think that's definitely one way to look at it. Aging and death definitely has a lot of
Yeah.
fear surrounding it.
Yeah, and the last week my balls were paining a little bit and I was like, fuck. I was peeing so much and my wife was like, go have your balls checked.
Did you go?
My neighbor came and touched my neck and said, Jagira, are you sweating? It's like, if you're peeing a lot and you're sweating, you've got diabetes, motherfucker.
Oh my goodness.
And he was telling me of how his dad is having diabetes and then
Yeah.
pees a lot and he's sweating a lot.
Yeah.
So he came and touched me and said, no, Jagiru, I think you're drinking coffee, right? You've been drinking a lot of coffee lately. And then the weather has also suddenly changed from being very hot to being very cold. So suddenly that's why you are peeing a lot. But I felt something in my
Something's
balls.
different.
Yeah.
Are you going to get it checked?
Last year I had it checked.
Yeah.
Last year I had it checked. Probably in the next few months I'll have, but it's not a very nice feeling when you go into the hospital to have your balls checked.
It's very intrusive.
It is very intrusive. It borders on abuse.
What's the process?
So the last time I was there,
Do you panua your legs like this?
last time I was there, I went to Avenue Hospital, and then I saw the doctor, which was a woman, and she asked very detailed questions about your balls, about your penis, about your what. Then you go to the lab.
All this when your clothes are on.
Yeah, you're just seeing the doctor generally,
Okay.
and you're seeing the problems.
Okay.
So when there are types of problems that when you show up at the doctor's with, they are alarm bells. So they take you towards the direction with lots of questioning. Are you peeing a lot? Do you feel like, what is your erection like? How long do you like take to ejaculate? Blah blah blah. So they are really, really, really tight questions.
Yeah.
You know.
Were you feeling like shy when you're answering these
I
questions?
am not generally shy, but you, at some point you even feel shy for her because the woman that I was speaking with was not very old, was younger than me actually. But then the real thing comes when they take you to the lab and they start physically assessing your balls.
So how do you go change and then?
You take your clothes and you hang them there.
And you stand naked.
You stand naked, you lie down.
Yeah.
And they come with tools.
Completely naked.
But how else?
Auachi hata shati ifunike huku ama.
They push your underwear to your knees. And then they start looking at your balls. And literally, this is your ball, and they are touching it and putting it this side and feeling it.
Yeah.
With gloved hands, seeing if there are fluids on it. And then now they start scanning it, and that the scanner is basically being rubbed all over your balls, and they turn it and they turn it and they turn it and turn it and turn it. You can't have an erection.
That was gonna be my next
no,
question.
You cannot have an erection.
Why?
There's a woman standing here, and the other one is with this tool, and they're all looking at your balls.
Have you ever been in a threesome?
No.
Okay, that answers. That also changias.
Yeah, I've never been in a threesome. I think it's a bit unhygienic to be in a threesome.
I feel like it's overstimulating. Like too many people in the room, everyone doing something, too much. Just need to concentrate on one person. Let's bring the conversation back. Well, I wasn't trying to age shame or like to make it look
I know.
like, yeah, there's a huge difference.
But
I
you feel like there is a huge difference of when I was dating, because when I was dating was between the age of between the year 2006 all the way to 2016, 2015.
Yeah, that time I was in class 5 all the way to high school. So the difference comes in even like the age of technology. Right now, a lot of us are meeting our partners on social media, dating apps. We're meeting through Instagram and stuff like that. But that time, it wasn't like that. Even me, it's not like I wasn't there.
It was like that. There was Facebook. When I was dating, there was Facebook.
Really?
Yes, there was Facebook.
Okay.
There were chat rooms. There were lots of chat rooms. In fact, what they call this Bumble or whatever, this dating apps.
Yeah.
We had chat rooms.
Were they like
and it was fun. It was more fun than what you guys have here. Because basically, I don't know, the last chat room that we had was just lots of people getting online at the same time. And you are here to chat. And then you can invite somebody from the main hall
to go
to a private chat.
Was it called To Go?
No, I doubt. It was called.
There was something called To Go that had like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was. I think I would say that it was more fun because you are all in the hall, and people are chatting, and then you can actually tap on somebody and say, "Let's go upstairs."
You get the one you want.
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess then the difference comes in where I kind of was thinking, during that time I did not have access to phones. So I'm just wondering how easy it was to even access a phone, to go on the internet, to meet new people.
No, you are not having a phone. Now that's the difference.
Yeah.
You are not doing that on your phone.
Where?
You are doing that on a cyber cafe.
Okay.
Yeah, they were doing that on a cyber cafe because then there was charging, I think. Motano, how much were they charging when you were in college? Motano? Cyber cafe ilikuwa shilingi moja for 1 shilling. For one?
Yes, for 1 shilling.
Yeah,
per
1 minute for 1 shilling. Some cyber cafes had 50 cents.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
So then, if you had 20 shillings, then you'll go for 20 minutes. But you can imagine how much you have to hurry.
Oh, yes.
To grab somebody, talk to them, and and sometimes you'll just close it without saying bye because your money is essentially over. And then there were cyber cafes in town that you will prepay.
With the timer.
Yeah. So the timer will just lock you out. And the moment your time is over, you'll just see a black screen. You are basically thrown out.
Your date is over.
Your date is over.
Okay, I like that. So was it like, I guess my question is like, how easy was it for people to meet and talk to each other and hang out with each other?
I think it was a bit organic. It was a bit organic. People met more for dates. I think even when I was in college, I did not date so much when I was in college. There's this girl that I really loved that did not love me back for whatever reason. Christine. Christine is online. Even today, she will probably see that I'm saying, yeah, Christine had the most beautiful hair, man.
Yeah.
She had beautiful hair that was always natural and falling to her shoulders. And Christine had a narrow face. Christine used to have this beautiful, tight, what is it called, skirts. And she had got this nice petite shirt that was just coming to this place. And they were always white. For whatever color, she had got popping colors.
Yeah.
I loved Christine so much.
Yeah.
I tried wanting to date Christine, but Christine was just giving me laughs and smiles, but was not thinking about me like somebody that she can take home.
Why do you think so?
For whatever reason, I think.
Did you ever talk about it?
Later on, I tried dating Christine later on in life after everything, we had left college and things like that. But I think at that point, Christine was a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, she was very different. But when we were in college, she was bubbly, she was this and that. But then I think with as years go by, changes happen. Yeah. So that was Christine. So Christine is the person. And then I've always said that I didn't date much because I didn't have money to date. I was having more pressing issues. You know, like there was no food back at home. There was no school fees. There was no this. There was no that. And dating without money is pretty hard. There is a guy that we used to be in college. I'm not going to say his name because Motano is here. But this motherfucker had a house he's had his own house. And he was going to school with us. He had his own house. Girls loved him. His mother, I think, his sister was in Dubai and was sending him all the money. And there is a time I went to his place and there were 2-3 girls there. Girls from my college. And they had spent the night there. I don't know where they spent the night. I don't know. But I believe it was not a threesome, but they spent the night there.
Yeah.
So dating for me was a bit ish. And the other thing is because I was in church, so it was Kutinyana outside wedlock was not something. There was something that was preached against very much in church. So it's not something that I was thinking about much. So asking me about I'm not the wrong person to ask about dating in that way because I didn't date much. My first sexual intercourse was in marriage. Did you know? Yeah. So it was not very.
No, I think your opinion is still valid because whether you were participating or not, of course, you were probably aware of the trends. Like something I'm seeing, there's something I agree with, is when you say it was more organic, because I think people actually put the effort and time into going on dates. Yeah. And everything you've said is very valid even now. Like dates are expensive, dating is expensive. And if you have
think it
more
has become worse.
Yeah, and if you have more pressing issues, it's better for you to focus on like your immediate needs than. So why is it so different for the men now? Why can't they just say, there's more important things for me. I can't afford to date. Let me focus on these things instead of coming on the internet.
Women are not. I'm not letting it go and saying that it is important. It is difficult. It is expensive to date. So let's just. I think that also something that has made dating very complicated and expensive is the issue of social media, because a typical woman is on Instagram. And literally seeing all the most beautiful restaurants in the city. During our days, you would not know. I remember the first time what happened to me when I was exposed to a lot of opulence was when I was in college, and this same Motano guy, Motano man, you
should come and sit
this you know what this motherfucker did to me.
What?
This guy told me that we should go to KN. Motano, where we had it was called what? Where we had the internship. KNA. Kenya News Agency. Now, Kenya News Agency was a government parastatal. And these guys, there was a Luo guy there. We went there and then we were given the press card. For like it is I think it is one of the most powerful press cards you can have because it's a government press card.
Okay.
Motano got one for me and he had one for himself. And I remember very well that there is a time we had we and this guy, we went and had a breakfast meeting at Intercontinental. Okay? At 10, at 11, Garang was having a press conference at the Libyan Hotel. Motano inaitwa aje? Ile hotel ya Libyans hapo karibu na sijui where. It's called it was the one for Patni. Yeah. So we had
Regency. Was it Regency?
No, it's not Regency. It's called something. I've forgotten the name. So we had we went to that presser. It used to be Grand Regency, yeah? Or Laiko Regency. You see what I knows it.
Yeah.
So we went there and had the press conference with Mr. Garang, and then we had tea there. We had a media lunch at Serena.
Acting like
the same day.
Yeah.
The same day we had a breakfast meeting at Intercontinental. We had a mid-morning tea at Laiko. We had a media luncheon. I don't know whether Motano those things ever happen anymore. Like they will call the media for lunch.
Yeah.
And then later cocktail in the evening at the Stanley. One day.
Yeah. I don't know if they do that still.
Yeah?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they still do that.
Well, so you would only see opulence when you go to these big hotels. And during our days, by the way, when I was going to college, big hotels were off limits for Africans, mostly. Like this, today you can just go into Stanley and ask for tea. Those days you couldn't. Like I remember very well, there was a fracas between a journalist and the security at Intercontinental. So Colin Powell, the Secretary of State, was coming to Kenya. And then we were invited to go and cover the story. And then this guy was asking Kenyan journalists, what are you coming to do here? Because they were black.
That's so crazy.
Yes. And you would not...
In our country.
It was very, very difficult to walk into Intercontinental and sit down and ask for tea. Kwani wewe ni nani?
That's so crazy to think about.
It was really, really crazy. But then that story, the reason why I'm talking about that story, you could only see that kind of opulence when you get involved into those things. I remember my first money was, the first money I ever earned was $60. And I was paid by the UN for attending a workshop. And it was coming to about 6,000, a lot of money then. And you'd go to a buffet. I mean, those days normal people wouldn't know about buffets.
Wangejulia wapi?
Because,
maybe kwa movie.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm talking about that is that contrary to those days, right now, women are seeing these things everywhere on Instagram. Like a lady is taking a private jet and lands in Dubai and is in a hotel room and is giving you all those things live. So literally a woman in Githurai 45 knows all the beautiful restaurants in this city.
Yes.
And the thing is, she's looking forward to going to those places. And then comes the man that is supposed to woo Roberta and take Roberta out. And now unanipeleka wapi? Java. Wachana na Java. I don't know your problem with Java, but Java is a very high-end restaurant. But this woman that is seeing all these beautiful places, like even if you go to the best restaurant on YouTube, the best restaurant in Nairobi, you'll see the opulence. You'll see how beautiful they are. All right? And then you start talking to this lady in Nairobi, and suddenly you are looking at what restaurant to take them, and then you're saying, okay, there's this dingy one in town where we can go, where tea is 150, or tea is 70 bob. You know, that is the cheapest tea, and this lady's not gonna love it, because she's like, so I can't go to CJ and take the soup, because there is a lady on Instagram that is talking about the CJ soup.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
So then this creates a type of situation whereby there is so much that this woman is seeing, but it is so less and less of men are able to afford that. Because if a man were to take you to CJ's, then he's leaving that place without 6,000. And if it is somebody that is earning 40,000, you can imagine if they went for 3 dates in a month or 4 dates.
The money is over.
Yeah. The money is over on you. Who do you think you are?
Okay, well, that's a good explanation from the man's side. I guess it's just about relatability, because I truly cannot relate. And it's not because I'm rich.
What can't you relate with?
I can't relate with those feelings of fear, of like, pesa itaisha, because that is something I'm trying to work on. I've told you about my poverty mindset, my poverty trauma stuff. So that guy, I don't want to get too like philosophical or like psychological, but that guy with the 40,000 bob salary who's scared of taking his girl out on dates because clearly pesa itaisha, he's thinking small. He's thinking 40,000 is the only thing he can ever get forever, all his life. And
where is he going to get another money?
Where do you get more money?
But I'm not going to an office from 6 to 7.
Okay, well, I used to go to an office and I used to make money other ways, and I'm a girl.
But you see,
and the patriarchy is harder on women. So, Me and the reason I say
What kind of story a patriarchy
no,
is out on women?
the reason I say relatability is because I've told you, I've mentioned here before that me and even the women in my life, me and the girls in my life, this is things we do normally. Like, hata si kukatiana, si kusave for months. Now, unaweza sema, oh yeah, of course, because you can afford it. Ama, yeah, because you can go, because you have the chance to. It's just a mindset thing. Because a few years ago, I wasn't able to. And it's not like I come from money where we used to go to nice restaurants all the time. I guess it's just about what's important to you and what you feel you like and what you feel you want to do. Because even these women, they don't need men to go to these restaurants. They could see girls in Dubai on private jets and all that. The aspiration shouldn't be, I want a man who can do this for me. It should be, I want to be able to do this for myself. So that if this man comes, he's just a bonus.
The truth is that there are lots of women that want some things to be done by men.
By the men.
Yeah.
But that is very harmful, because then they meet a man who can afford these things. You see, even when I talk about money, I think I should have a disclaimer for these conversations is not for everyone. It's not just if you're a girl, you deserve money from a man, or if you're a man, you deserve
That's how it comes
out.
out.
That's not how it's supposed to be. And I think that's the disclaimer I should put, because currently I'm at a level where before I was at a point where pesa ingenishtua. Chali akinitumia 2k, 10k, nashtuka, like, oh, he loves me, he likes me. Until you wake up, you grow older and you realize that's just his budget for hoes. Like, he has a budget kando where he can chomoa 10k and send it to any random girl that he wants to. So you start to look for things that are way beyond just the money. So right now, I cannot fall for someone just because they have money. Money is the baseline. Like, them having money is bare minimum. It is a natural human being thing for everyone. It's not just for men, I'm just for women. Everyone should have their own money. So that when someone comes into your life and tries to coerce you, entice you with trips to Dubai, honestly, if you can do it for yourself, then it's not that, been there, done that, I can pay for my flight tomorrow. So what else? Like, who are you? Thank God you have money. Who fuchs? But then what else is coming from this situation? So I guess I can see how then people might be understanding my communication. Well, my next question is about shooting your shot. We had just started talking about shooting your shot. I've been seeing a lot of videos about on women on the internet going down on one knee and proposing to their long-term boyfriends of 9 years, 10 years, 12 years. They have like 3, 4 kids, 5 kids together. So imefika point, inabidi dem propose, ndio sasa hii relationship isonge forward. Whatever forward means for them. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about women proposing, like going down on one knee? And also about women shooting their shot, like actively pursuing a man. You see a man you like, do you go for him? Do you make yourself noticeable to him? Or do you just go, hey, Jagero, I want you today. I want you to be my boyfriend.
I hope that you are enjoying that episode, people of the internet. You know, everybody says there is no job. And that is true. Also, that was me 10 years ago. The problem is that everybody is trying to get a job in their own town, in their own city, in their marketplace. They ask friends for jobs. Mothers call uncles. Uncles call fathers. But there are no jobs, right? Let me tell you what no one is telling you. Jobs migrated online. What I actually mean is there are many, many jobs around the world and there is no one to do them. I have worked for a long time online, I think more than 10 years. I work for Americans, I work for Europeans, I work for the Chinese, the Australian, Canadians, the Ugandans, name all of them. And last year, I had a eureka moment. I said to myself, you know what? I should compile what I have been doing for the last 15 years. So in 2024, I wrote a book called Goldmine, 18 Side Hustles for Africans. And it sold a lot of copies. In fact, sometimes I was receiving 500 orders in a day. In 2025, something happened. AI came. I think in 2025, AI came. AI came in 2024, but in 2025, it is here with us. And people say AI is taking away their jobs. And for me, I'll say false. There are actually AI jobs. Na mimi ni nani? I created more jobs. We now have in my book 25 online and offline side hustles that you can do anywhere in the world, whether you are in the village, whether you are in your small town, whether you're in a marketplace, whether you are in your house, you can do them. In this powerful volume 2, I share 25 new actionable online hustles specifically researched and tailored for Africans. My new book provides clear step-by-step guidance, drawing from my extensive experience and research, including the mistakes I have made and lessons I have learned over 15 years in this online job market. You can become an executive assistant to busy folks in Europe, America, and Canada. You can also get paid for tasks like watching videos and taking online surveys. There are many of them and they're in my book. You can also build a business as a virtual assistant, start an e-commerce without a shilling. You can also become an affiliate marketer or an online English tutor. And you can also do tens of AI jobs, and they're all in these books. If you have a job, that is fine, but I know around you there are so many people that are always looking for jobs and at home watching Netflix. Buy this book for your brother, for your sister, for your mother, cousin, husband, who is back at home all day, all night watching Netflix. Okay? Buy it for your friend. That friend who is always asking you for cash, you can buy this book for them. All the information is in the description below. You can also inbox me, you can WhatsApp me, or you can go to my website, which is oduorjagero.co.ke. The book is only 1,000 Kenya shillings. Or if you're anywhere around the world, the book is $10. So thank you very much. Back to programming. You know,
how do you feel about that?
For me, it is a bit complicated.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't fancy women that go on one knee and propose to their men.
How come?
And also I don't fancy men who go on their knee to propose to women.
Okay, tell me the rationale.
I just feel like when I was getting married, I took my wife to an island in Kisumu. Yeah. And I gave her a necklace and told her that I want to marry her, you know. But I feel like a lot of moves that sometimes we make in Africa are not very. And if you ask a lot of men, no man wants to be on their knee. A lot of men wants to be on their knee for the show and for lack of a better word, to probably do what is out there and what women love seeing out there, you know. So I don't fancy men going on their knee and talking about things. I think that if you want to get married to a woman, then it should be a discussion. I don't think it is a good idea to, because let's be honest, I don't think people really get shocked that they have been proposed to. It is something that everybody knows that today is probably the proposal day.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, because let me tell you, you have to be a madman to go down on your knee to a woman who you have no idea where her mind is.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think no man wants to be rejected on his knee. And he will do everything to make sure that it is going to be a yes. And most of them are yeses.
Yeah.
Right? And I know that also some people stage these things.
Stage how?
They stage it. They
like
say
a fake proposal?
Yeah. The lady knows it's going to go down for the show and for the cameras and for social media.
Oh, okay. The ones that are content creation.
No. Even non-content creators.
So how do they do? Like they hire a videographer, they rent out a space, Nini, they do everything.
They just tell the man, you go do your thing. Organize with your boys. Me, I'll be. In any case, this could be happening. This thing that is going to say, will you marry me, is going to happen after the lady has been saying, what are we doing in this relationship?
Oh yeah.
We need to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to make up your mind on what you want from me. And that statement means that I want to get married or I move on. See, you've seen the show of Marry or Go or Move On.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called exactly, but I don't think
I know what
on
you
Netflix,
mean.
Yeah. So I think a lot of those things, It's very, very difficult to go on your knee and you don't know the state of affairs, whether this woman wants marriage or not. So most of the men that I believe go down on their knee are the men that have already gotten a yes.
So this is just formality.
This is just a formality, and for the clicks and for the cameras and for feeling good on the side of the woman. And then,
but there's nothing wrong with feeling good. There's nothing wrong with feeling good.
Yeah, but just be honest about it. You're not shocked.
Yeah.
So why are you saying you are shocked?
The way they're... You see how they normally
do you
react?
think you can have a whole concert and then you show up on stage and propose to a woman in a concert like other men do, and she doesn't know? She doesn't know?
That's something to think about.
Even if she doesn't know, even if she doesn't know that's going to happen on that stage, there are so many things that have happened within that period.
Discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, because you know, it actually makes sense, because I don't think I want someone to propose to me if they've never talked to me about marriage, like they've never had a discussion.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter if we've been together for a year, for 2 years. This is a discussion we must have and actually decide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't want to embarrass a man that you love on a stage and telling a baby, I want to get married to you, but not today. I can't say yes today.
Yes.
Right?
Actually, it would feel very overwhelming now that I think about
it.
And in public, a public proposal.
Yeah. Where you go hire cameras and you do all these things and you go print things downtown. Gee, will you marry? Come on. And I think that when people try doing those things, they are cheapening the idea of marriage, because those are the same people that unfortunately find it very difficult in their marriage. And with the pomp and the show that they implement shortly before their marriage, and in 6 months, in 4 months, this thing is up in smoke.
Yeah.
You know, so I think as human beings, do you want a show or you want, because marriage marriage is really, I've been in marriage for 10 years and it's not just a walk in the park. You see this woman in her element, and if you guys have marriage, you see how you have children, you see how it is. It is not the woman that wakes up and puts on her whatever on the face and the lips, and then puts on the studs, and then and go out and sit pretty and drink coffee, and you serve it. And
she's a real human being.
She's an animal.
Yes.
I think
that's the right. And even you're an animal.
Yeah. You like it's not nice. It's all the time.
It's real.
It's really real. This is somebody that has got breath in the morning.
Yeah.
This is somebody that is sweaty. These are you, and when they are sick, they are diarrheaing.
It's all that.
It is all that. So when you try to make it look like something that is going to be so beautiful for the last 60 years or so, I think it's a bit. So anyway, what were we saying about? We were on a trajectory.
We were on proposing on one knee.
Yeah. So
but I specifically wanted to know about, like, I like that you've mentioned the boy side of stuff.
Yeah.
But I specifically want to listen to about the woman. Like, what feeling do you get? Okay, there's videos going around. I'll show you one after this.
Well, you asked Signolo to be showing it when he's doing this video.
Oh, okay.
Signolo, please.
I'll send it to him. So there's this lady who, in a happening sana, and most times the men always say no.
I have
or
seen,
they walk away.
Yes, I have seen it a lot.
If it's the woman proposing. So what do you think? Okay, in tie with my question for shooting your shot, how do you feel about a woman being, I can call it progressive, like her being the one to pursue the man and go chase the man and say, this is what I want?
You see,
how
now,
do you feel?
the reason why, as a man, I would see how that is very problematic is that, you see, when a woman goes down on her knee to propose to a man, she's probably reversing the role. You see. But in the head of the man, the roles are not reversed, really. Because if she's going down on her knee, we should also ask the very uncomfortable question, is that has she been paying for the dates?
Probably has.
I doubt.
How
I
come?
doubt. I doubt. Because, you see, I think a lot of women, and you said something there that I would really disagree with. Women often don't like men spending on them because they don't have money. I don't think that's the case.
Sorry, how do you mean?
It is like a man would spend on me and take me to the Bahamas simply because I don't have money. No, I don't think that's how women operate. Women get good feelings from being spent on.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so it's the good feeling. It's not the issue of
it's not the money.
Yeah. So that's why I'm telling you that when a woman goes down on the knee, it does not take away from the fact that she wants treatment, protection, and all those things that comes with the package of being called a man.
That makes a lot of sense.
You see?
Yes.
So when she goes down on her knee, in the man's head, there is a reverse role. But probably the man has not been seeing this reverse role in other areas of life. So then what are you doing? And the other question is, the man is asking, for example, in his head, is that when you finally go on your knee, are you going to start preparing, be the one taking care of the wedding?
Yeah, that's probably what they're thinking.
You know, but that's not how women operate.
Exactly.
Women want to be guests at their wedding.
Yes. You know what I think? I think, okay, my opinion is that that's something I would never do. And if I ever saw a girl I know doing it, I would nawasimamisha very fast. But it's nothing personal against the act of going down on one knee. If it floats your boat, well and good. But I personally think that venye tu umesema, there's so many things that we do on a day-to-day basis, and we don't realize that these psychological processes are like happening in the background. She might not be on the knees saying directly, I'm paying the bills, or I will pay for the wedding. I'm the man in this relationship, because it's taken to be a manly thing to go down on your knee and propose. Maybe I say we outright, but if you chunguza the relationship for real, you'll see the feminine energy and the masculine energy detached. You'll see the woman taking charge most times, making decisions, and that's why she got to a point she had to go down on one knee, because this guy of hers is just chilling.
But the question is, why does she want to get married that bad?
That's a very good question, because to some people marriage is it's like a goal. It's very important to them. And I think we are sold this lie that like it's rosy and it's amazing and it's a fairy tale until you get in it, and then you realize, kumbe wedding tu ndo inabamba. Ukifika kwa hiyo real part ya hizo madiarrhea zenye umesema na hizo kuonana in your natural element, it's very different.
Yeah, and I think that marriage is very overrated. It's extremely overrated, and I think a lot of people are getting a lot of pain from marriages. True. And people who are divorcing left, right, and center are just getting into this thing and saying, shit, this hotel, this is not what I booked. This hotel, hapa kuna chawa, huku ndo nilibook. I remember there is a story of us going to South Africa, and then my friend Judisi booked this place, and it was looking so rosy on pictures.
Reviews pia zilikuwa nzuri.
Yeah, when we reached Cape Town, some of the guests said, I'm not sleeping here.
And
I'm not sleeping here. So then I think also that the men that want to get married just need to understand that it is not a very. I hear a lot of women saying that marriage does not. What is the word they use exactly? That marriage it's not advantageous. Let me use my own words.
Yes,
it does not benefit women. Mm-hmm. I think that statement is neither here nor there.
Before you say something, I want to acknowledge that you have to understand, you and me come from a lot of privilege. So a lot of the things we feel or believe, they're coming from our access to awareness, education, exposure, even having such conversations. But you have to remember, kuna mse pahali kwa ground, amekaa, na statement kama hizo zina make sense kwake, na ni valid, na ni ukweli. We uko kwa relationship. Iyo, marriage is not beneficial to to women, it is beneficial to the man. You're in a marriage where you see the benefits of your wife and your wife sees your benefits. And even if you guys are at loggerheads, you're able to acknowledge, anyway,
that is precisely my point.
Does a lot for me.
That is precisely my point.
But you cannot negate that there's someone who's in a marriage where her feel kama ana benefit. Now, I bring this up because this is something I've seen a lot. I've seen so many times. I've seen when the woman gets married, she's the one who sacrifices her body. She sacrifices her dreams and goals. She sacrifices her hobbies. She sacrifices the way she used to dress, the way she used to go. The man's relationships continue. He'll still go out with the boys. He'll still play PS.
That is my biggest point, crossroad of disagreement with that statement.
Let me finish, Jagero.
Sijamaliza. Okay, go ahead.
And it would be unfair to negate the experiences of these women because these women have been our mothers. We've seen, when we're speaking, we're not speaking from far. Maybe you can tell me about how your mother was at home in her marriage. You'll find there's this message my mom sent in the group chat last year. I've never forgot about it. And in this message, it was a TikTok video she linked where the caption was, nobody asks me about what I like, nobody. And when you sit about it, you think, and yeah, the only thing we know about mommy is that she's mommy. Then you start to get to know your mother, you realize she used to be a singer, she used to play tennis, she likes reggae music. And these days, all she does is listen to gospel, go to church, cater to her husband and the family. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that we cannot negate that it takes a lot from a woman, especially a woman who's a mother. And this does not mean, one thing being true on this side does not mean it's not true on the other side. It doesn't mean that men don't have their own hardships, that men's lives don't change in the relationships, that men don't go through things, that it doesn't mean that. I'm just saying this is what women go through. Okay. And it is true. It is valid.
So now can I speak?
Yes.
When I started this conversation,
yeah,
I said very clearly that there are women, especially on social media these days, and on TV, and at every crossroad and junction, that are saying, as a matter of fact, that marriage does not benefit women, it benefits the men. What I'm saying is, it's a blanket statement. It is not based, I don't think it is based on any, whatever they have done, because let us not as humans begin to say blanket statements, such as marriage only benefits men, full stop. No. How
do you think it should be said?
I think that we should have honest conversations about marriages and how and who benefits in it. Right? If your mother did not benefit in her marriage, it is your mother that did not benefit in in her marriage. I know for a fact that my mother really did not enjoy her marriage. I know that, and that is her story. She was a woman that gave birth to 6 children with a husband that is a drunkard and a wife batterer. And my mother was a sickly woman most throughout her life. And she was a trapped woman.
How do you mean trapped?
She was trapped. You get into that.
Couldn't leave that situation.
You can't leave because you have children. So you are trapped. In a sense, I could see how that marriage was mostly benefiting my father because he was a drunkard who was working in Kisumu and coming home every weekend. But most of the raising of those children was left in the hands of my mother. There was not enough money to raise them, and she was mostly alone in that relationship. Okay? And that scarred her. And my mother died a very painful death. My mother, the last story when I was in college is that my mother was so sick that she could not go to the hospital. And you know what my brother did? My 2 brothers, they put her in a wheelbarrow and took her to her mother. who was 7 kilometers away where she was born, because there was nobody to take care of her back here. You see, so that story is I can see it. Even if my father was here, my father, and I have said it several times, that she had his own demons. I do not excuse him, but I think he was in a difficult situation where he was born in a family of drunkenness. His father was drinking. He did not think about, how do I move out of this situation of being a prisoner of alcohol? You see, how do I decide that battering is not good for my wife? Because he saw his father battering his mother, and he thought that's the way of life. So that is why when people ask me whether I have ever, like there is somebody who said, Jagero, you've not even slapped your wife? And I said, no, I've never.
It seems even crazy for someone to even say that.
Yeah, somebody told me that I'm lying, that I'm lying, that I've not beaten my woman, but I have not. Yeah. You see, and that is for me to think about and say that, do I want to live the way my father lived his life? Because at the end of my father's life, he was standing by the window and depressed and looking outside for hours upon hours, because now he had lost his job. He was back in the village. He had no friends. He was in complete isolation and desolation. And then he died out of depression. You see? So at the end of his life, at the end of my mother's life, my mother and my father living together ended up in a tragedy. And that's what I saw. It was tragic. My mother died sick and skeletonish and without any type of medication, just, I think, 3 years after my father died. You see? So then that is their story. And then there are many more stories like that, all right, where there are women that are trapped like that and are not benefiting from those marriages. Then you find men who are also, pushing carts in town the whole day, while the women are back at home beguiling stories. And like right now, the other day I was joking with somebody in the village. I took lots of my clothes that I no longer wear to the village to give to my cousins. Because last December when we were home, we were in a funeral. And there are these ladies that were looking so supple and so beautiful and had got dreads and they were looking good. And then their men are looking terrible.
Badly dressed.
Badly, like this guy was just having one cloth the whole time. You see, now the other person can argue that, okay, it is upon himself to take care of himself, right? But most of the time they are in the trenches. Either brewing changa to feed their families, or in what we call down there utongo. Utongo is basically going and working in people's farms the whole day. And their wives, what they do is that they make uji and take it to them over there in the farms, and then the men will be toiling there the whole day. They go there at 6, and our place has lots of mosquitoes. And they will toil there the whole time. So some of them, you look at them, they are blackish. They have toiled so much for their families, you know. And then I went to visit one of them, and the guy was literally taking strong tea for supper. Strong fucking tea for supper. So if you look at that man is not getting anything in that marriage. You see, that marriage is not benefiting him at all. So that is their story. Okay? And then we have lots of those men. Now, if you look at the entire scale of men and women in marriage, you could say that probably 70% of women are not benefiting from marriage. The scale tips towards women. You see, more women probably are not benefiting from marriage. But if you just go on a platform and claim as a blanket statement that women are the ones that do not benefit from marriage, you see what you are doing. there are stories out there that you're saying, okay, we don't want to listen to your stories. And I think that is majorly the problem of us humans when we decide to take a single story and run with it. You know, because there are also women who never give birth in marriage.
Yes.
So then can we say that what happened to their bodies? They're just there. They never gave birth, like Olisa in my marriage, in my village. That woman had just been young the whole time. I started seeing her when I was young. She's just young. Even when I go home right now, she's 60 and she's still just young.
I think, let me reiterate my point just in one statement.
Yeah.
Like, one thing being true does not negate the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even it being a blanket statement or whatever, does not mean the other side does not exist or the other side is not true. It's as a human being, you're prone to have a bias towards the experiences you've had or the things you've grown around. So even if you say it, like if I say men are trash, of course not all men are trash. Of course good men exist. We all know good men exist.
But you see now,
the men in my life,
yeah, there are people who listen to those statements,
yes,
and they are not at appropriate age where they can interpret.
Or understanding.
Yes, that. So when you say that, the responsibility comes in when you are saying them before people that are not able to interpret that statement properly.
I absolutely agree. And that's why I've explained my comment about wanting money. Because I think the notion is they think maybe I'm broke and I live in a hole and I'm, please give me some money.
Do they really think so? Do they really think
because
like that?
What else could you be thinking? Do you think
But do you look like somebody who come from a hole?
I think that's what they think.
No.
Because even the comments...
I think the men are just... You know, men...
Yeah. Even the comments are meaning when he malaya, when he prostitutes. And I'm like... Okay, fine. I could be a prostitute and I'm a liar. But like, what does it have to do like with me wanting to feel good and being treated well?
There is a lot of money trauma around. Even for the men, there are lots of men who are not able to bed the women that they so want to bed. Women like Roberta.
So they think putting them down.
Who cannot even be taken to Java. It pisses off men.
But just go for the girl who you want. Go for that girl.
But I want Roberta who said.
Then work on your money instead of kunitukana, because what do you think you're going to get from me?
And so when they come for you and you're rebuffing them with your statement, you see why they're getting angry. Because they want you and they can't get you. And so they just say things. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be.
I get what you mean.
And I also feel like a lot of people are online, but I can't even say online. A lot of people are quick to judge and abuse, and say things that there are so many cowards. I think online.
I think they think
don't want to show their face.
You won't see the comments or like.
But also when you are having a following of 400,000, a lot of people are saying things because they know that probably you don't read the comments. True. So they are also just telling them for the people that are reading the comments, not necessarily to you. So sometimes it's just like, okay, wanakuwaka hapo na other women that think like you.
I want to close this conversation. But before I close it, so what is the verdict about like women shooting their shot? Do you think women should do it?
I think women should shoot their shots. Like if a woman sees a man that they like, I think they can find creative ways of making them, get into the box. I think there is no problem with that because we are all human beings. That is why even peacocks, there is a way they do their wings to attract females, to attract males, or there's a way other animals behave to attract, males. Dogs usually spot to attract males. So I think that whatever you can do to find what you want in life, you should basically go for it. But I think women should not try to have their cake and eat it.
How do you mean?
Like on one end, you want to go on your knee, And then, because once you go on your knee, you are taking a particular role.
Yes.
You see?
You've switched the dynamics without realizing
Yes,
it.
you've switched it, and you've switched it so dramatically. And that is what is in a man's head. That it doesn't look like it is genuine. I think a lot of men will see it as entrapment, as a bait.
Don't you think it's the same like when I go and katia a guy? We were having this conversation when we were with Kina Malela at iHub, when we were in the recording room, and the other guy said, the guitarist guy said, Ati, if a woman approached him, he would feel like that's really, like he's only red flags. Like, why is she just bringing herself to me? Something must be wrong with this woman. So is it this feeling something many men feel?
No. Yeah, many men feel that, but I think they should not start feeling that, because there are a lot of women right now who are very comfortable in their skin, that are having good jobs, are having a good house, are having a good car, are having their money, wakona nyege, and the men have just taken off. And they're wondering, I mean,
why does she want me?
Like a guy who runs away because a woman showed up in a V8.
Yeah.
You see, that is a man that I think works.
Or even when she might not have these things, but she's just really loving and she wants you.
Yeah. And a lot of conversations have to be held amongst the women folk, about these issues. Because I feel like right now there is a lot of animosity between the two gender. Yeah. A lot of animosity, a lot of suspicion. And in fact, the biggest one, if you talk to the boys, is the suspicion of why a woman wants to be near me. Most of the men are saying that women are coming to take from us. And then the women are shooting back and saying, do you even have anything to be taken? You see, it doesn't help. That conversation does not help anybody.
Can I be honest? This is going to sound wrong, but let me just say, you see, these conversations, the reason I've even brought it as a topic is because I'm not having this conversation anywhere with the kind of people I'm around. Yeah. And these conversations need to be had, but I kind of realize these gender wars and arguments are only happening in lower frequencies. You see, my friends who are richer, more successful,
and that is where Roberta, that's where the magnitude is. Yeah. The low frequency is where there is so much noise.
Yes.
High frequencies do not have noise.
Because even you,
but the high frequency is not the society.
It's not the
society is in the low frequency.
Because even you, there's questions I ask you, and I feel like you think that question is so stupid, but it's still like this question for Ati. Who there's a time we're arguing with the whole group here, Ati, does your wife cook for you? That's not a conversation people in higher frequencies are having, because once you outsource the service, what is the role of your wife then if she's not cooking? Are you going to love her less because she doesn't cook? Yeah. It literally doesn't matter. You have someone to do the cooking in the house. So these conversations, sorry to say, I'm not having them around my rich, better, more exposed friends. It's only around the people who are broke, sad, lost, fearful. And there's nothing with being in that space. You can always move.
You are very condescending to that constituency.
No, don't say that. I gave a disclaimer by starting by saying I know it would sound wrong. Let's finish the conversation there. Nimetukanwa ya kutosha this week. You guys, I read those comments and I go through them one by one and I reply to some of them. I mean, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It's just, sometimes it's really amusing because I try to think, how did you come up with that? I've seen also a lot of comments about people saying, tunakatiana. What would you say about that? Mara tunatakana. Say something about that before I close.
I don't think I want to give those guys airtime.
Okay. We're not answering you.
Because that I think if we start discussing that, it's going, I don't know, man. You see what you see, you make your judgment. But I mean, what you see is what you see. Me, I don't read much into it because when people are close to each other, they have to look at each other. So when you start interpreting and saying that this person is looking at this person this way, then that's what you're seeing. That's what you're seeing from
And
the
it's
other.
not wrong.
Yeah, that's what you're seeing from the other side of the fence.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this conversation. I have learned.
I really enjoyed it.
You did?
I really enjoyed
I'm happy.
It was very easy conversation and
Yeah.
just flowing.
I'm walking out of this conversation, I guess, with a lot more grace. Maybe let me say less anger. But also I'm now even way more cognizant of like the privilege I have of the people I'm around, the conversations we're having. It's so nice to be able to have such conversations.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me for this lovely hour.
Cheers.
I would like to close by telling you guys, please, 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 the tickets are 2,500. Only 2,500, imagine. Nunua tikiti, njoo tuone kwenye iHub, James Gishuru Road on the 16th of April. We will be there, and you can ask us all these questions in person. Thank you so much for joining us, and I love you guys.